Hello friend and welcome to the Laravel 11 Multi-Guard Authentication System course. In this video, we're going to be having an overview of exactly what you will be able to build all by yourself by the time you complete this course. So I want you to give me a few minutes of your time to navigate you through this awesome Laravel Multi-Guard Authentication System. So as you can see, our project right here basically have two types of view, which is the front-end view and the back-end view. So let's go ahead and start with the front-end view. Right here in the front-end view, users can go ahead and have themselves registered into the system and also log into the system after they have successfully registered. So let's go ahead and now start with the registration process. Users can go ahead and click on the register link right here and they will be taken to the user's registration page. Alright, so here user will be providing his name, email, password, and confirm password to get himself registered into the system. But first of all, I'm going to go ahead and show you some couple of validation that we apply to this form. Now let's go ahead and try to click on the register button without filling in any input field. Let's go ahead and say register. Yes, as you can see, we have a couple of validation going on in this form. So friend, I'm going to show you how to add form validation in Laravel and also how to display our validation information on our form right here, everything from scratch. All right, perfect. And now let's go ahead and provide some information. Let's say Daniel for the name. And let's go ahead and add some email address. Let's say danny.com. As you can see, this is not a valid email address. So for password, let's say 111, confirm password 111, and now let's go ahead and try to register. So you can see right here, we should be having another information, a validation information that says the email field must be a valid email address. So we have to pass a valid email address for this form to be submitted successfully. Perfect. I'm going to teach you how to do everything, all of these things in Laravel. Now let's go ahead and say we add the user, let's say Daniel. And let's add a valid email address. Let's say danielfavor@gmail.com. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and say password should be 111 and confirm password should be 222. As you can see, now the confirm password does not match the password. So we should be having another validation information right here. Okay, let's go ahead and say register. Alright, it says the confirm password field must match the password field. Alright, so as you can see, friends, these are all input validation. They are basically form validations that I'm going to be teaching you from scratch. Now we're going to go ahead and register a user. Let's go ahead and say we wanted to register Daniel. And danielfavor@gmail.com. Password should be 111. Confirm password 111. And let's go ahead and say register. Now we should be registered into the system because we are providing everything correctly. Alright, perfect. Now as you can see, our registration is successful and we have a notification right here that says you need to verify your email to complete your registration. We have sent a verification link to your email. If you cannot find the email in your inbox, please check your spam folder. So now as you can see, the user needs to verify his email to complete his registration right here. And as you can see, the system will be telling the user to check his inbox that an email verification link has been sent. So now let's go ahead and check our MailTrap dashboard right here. Yes, as you can see, we of course receive an email verification email to danielfavor@gmail.com. So friend, I'm going to be showing you how to do everything from scratch, how to send an email verification link down to your Laravel application user using one of the free email delivery platforms, which is MailTrap. And I'll try my possible best to explain everything step by step from scratch. Now let's go ahead and open our email right here. And as you can see, yes, we receive an email verification mail. It says, hello, our username, Daniel. Thank you for registering with us. Please verify your email address by clicking the button below. So friend, I'm going to be showing you how to create this manually, everything from scratch, how to add this custom email template, how to pass our users information to our email template, and all that in this course. So now let's go ahead and click on the verify email button. Yes, as you can see, now we are taken back to our login page, our users login page with a success message that says your email is verified. You can now log into your account. So now let's go ahead and try to log in with empty input fields. like we have tried for the registration page. As you can see, our login form right here also have some couple of validations. It says the email field is required, the password field is required, so that means we cannot submit an empty form. And if we try to log in with a user that does not exist, let's say something like this .com, as you can see, this is an invalid email address. Let's go ahead and say password 111, and let's go ahead and say login. We should have our validation that says we should of course use a valid email address. Perfect. The email field must be a valid email address. Now let's go ahead and try to log in with a user that does not exist. As you can see, if you take a look inside of our database right here, our users database table, let's go ahead and refresh that. Alright, as you can see here, we have our newly registered users, which is danielfavor@gmail.com with his password hashed, and the token is empty and status is 1. So by default, when the user registers into the system before verifying his email, this token field will be filled with a email verification token, and the status colon here will be 0. But because we've already verified our email, our token is empty and our status right here is turned to 1. Perfect. Now, as you can see, we have only 3 users registered into the system. So now let's go ahead and try to log in with a user that does not exist. So let's go back here to our login form. Let's say user@gmail.com, something like this, and try to enter some random password 111. And let's go ahead and say login. Yes, as you can see, we have an error message that says invalid login credential, meaning we do not have any user registered into our system with the login credential that we just provided. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and try to log in with a valid user. So let's go ahead and say we have danielfavor@gmail.com, password 111, and now let's go ahead and say login. Yes, as you can see, we are successfully logged into our users dashboard. Alright, and as you can see, our users dashboard is completely dynamic. It says welcome, our username, which is Daniel, and our user's email address, which is danielfavor@gmail.com. Perfect. And our user can go ahead and log out of the system like so. Alright, so that's for the registration and the login functionality. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at our forgot password functionality right here. So let's go ahead and click on the forgot password link. As you can see, our user will be taken to the forgot password page if he click on the forgot password link when he of course forgot his password. So all we need to do is, as you can see right here, it says that please enter your email address to receive a password reset link. So now we're going to go ahead and now enter our email address. Let's say our email address is danielfavor@gmail.com. But before that, actually, we're going to go ahead and test our forgot password form validation right here. So if we try to submit an empty form right here, we should have an information right here. It says the email field is required and we must provide a valid email address. Let's go ahead and add some random email. Let's say send email. And as you can see, the email field must be a valid email address. Alright, and if we try to enter any email address, any user that does not exist, so let's say user@gmail.com, and let's go ahead and say send. We should have user with the provided email does not exist. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and provide a valid user, which is Daniel Favor, and let's go ahead and now say send email. Yes, as you can see, now we are receiving a success message that says we have sent a password reset link to your email. Please check your email address. If you do not find the email in your inbox, please check your spam folder. So friend, I'm going to be showing you how to create everything from scratch, how to create the forgot password functionality, how to send a password reset link down to our user's email for him to be able to reset his password when he forgot it, and how to add the validation to make sure that the user requesting to reset his password is an existing user, is a valid user. Everything I'm going to teach you absolutely from scratch. Now we're going to go ahead and navigate back to our MailTrap dashboard right here, and as you can see, we're going to be receiving a password reset mail right here to danielfavor@gmail.com, and now we're going to go ahead and open that. Yes, as you can see, here is our password request mail. It says, hello Daniel, we receive a request to reset your password. Please click the button below to reset your password. And now if the user go ahead and click on the reset password button, he should be taken to the password reset page where he will be providing his new password and then confirm his new password. Alright, perfect. Now right here, as you can see, we have a comment that says your new password must be different to previous password. That means the user cannot use his old password again. So now let's go ahead and try to enter a new password. First of all, we're going to go ahead and check our form validation. We cannot submit an empty form, of course. Alright, now let's go ahead and try to enter our old password. Remember, our old password is 111, confirm password 111, and let's go ahead and say submit. Yes, as you can see right here, our validation says you cannot use your old password again. Awesome, how cool is this? So we're going to be learning how to add this validation in our Laravel project. And now let's go ahead and of course create a brand new password, which is going to be, let's say 1234, and confirm password 1234. Now let's go ahead and say submit. Yes, as you can see now that we provide a new password which does not correspond with the old password we have inside of our database. Now it says your password is reset. You can now log in with your new password. Alright, so now let's go ahead and say login with Daniel Favor, and remember our old password is 111, and let's go ahead and try to log in. Yes, now as you can see, we can no longer log in with our old password, but let's try logging in with our new password. Let's go ahead and say Daniel Favor and new password 1234, and let's go ahead and say login. Awesome, awesome. As you can see, we are successfully logged into our users dashboard with our newly reset password. Alright, awesome. How cool is this? So friend, that's it for the front-end section. Now we're going to move to the back-end section of our Multi-Guard Authentication System, which is right here. As you can see, we have our admin's login page, and right here the admin need to provide his username and password. So for the admin username, we have admin, and password, let's go ahead and say 111, and let's go ahead and say login. Yes, as you can see, now we are successfully logged into our admin's dashboard. Here, as you can see, our admin's dashboard is also dynamic. It says admin right here and admin@gmail.com. Okay, and right here, if we click on our admin's profile right here, we can go ahead and log out of our admin's dashboard. So let's go ahead and log out. Perfect. As you can see, we have a success message that says admin logout successfully. And now let's go ahead and take a look at our forgot password functionality, our admin's forgot password functionality. So let's go ahead and say forgot password in case if our admin's forgot his password. As you can see, now we are taken to the admin's forgot password page, and now we can go ahead and enter our admin's email, which is right here. Let me actually go ahead and take a look at that. Let's navigate to our admin's table right here. As you can see, we have our admin's email as admin@gmail.com. So let's go ahead and pass that inside of our admin's forgot password page right here as admin@gmail.com, and we're going to go ahead and say send email. Now an email should be sent to our admin's email with a password reset link. Yes, as you can see, we have sent a password reset link to your email, blah blah blah. So now let's go ahead and take a look inside of our mail trap email delivery platform, and right here, as you can see, we are receiving our reset password mail to admin@gmail.com. So now let's go ahead and open that. Yes, as you can see, hello admin, we receive a request to reset your password. Please click the link below to reset your password. Now if the admin go ahead and click on the reset password button right here, he should be taken to the admin's reset password page where he will be providing his new password. And now if the admin enter a new password, let's go ahead and say 2222 and 2222, and then go ahead and submit. Yes, as you can see, your password is reset. You can now log in with your new password. That's for the admin. And now let's go ahead and try to log the admin with the old password. Let's go ahead and say the username is admin, password 111, and say login. Yes, invalid login credentials. And if we go ahead and now log the admin with our newly created password, which is 2222, and say login. Perfect, perfect. As you can see, now we are successfully logged into our admin's dashboard. Alright, so friend, this is basically all about the project that we're going to be building in this course. As authentication system is the foundation of every Laravel project, almost every Laravel application that you're going to be developing requires authentication system. And this course will be a very good starting point for you as a beginner or an experienced Laravel developer to really improve and advance your Laravel development experience. So if this is really what you wish to know how to build from scratch all by yourself, then go ahead and enroll in the course, and I will see you in our first lesson. Hello and welcome to our Laravel Multi-Guard Authentication System course. In this video, we're going to start with the environment setup. We're going to be setting up our environment to make sure that we are ready to start working with Laravel. So as you can see, I'm already on the Laravel official documentation site, and you can as well arrive at this destination by simply coming over here to your browser's URL and type in laravel.com. And if you are here on the Laravel official documentation side, you're going to want to go ahead and click this button that says documentation, and it's going to take us straight to the instruction on how we go about installing Laravel on our local machine. Alright, so as you can see, it takes us to the Laravel installation guideline. So over to the top right here, you're going to see that we have Laravel version. We have version right here. So these are a couple of different versions of Laravels available. And at the time of recording this video, Laravel 11 is the latest version. So you're going to want to make sure that Laravel 11 is selected. So let's come over here, and I want us to scroll down. I want to take us to the Laravel application installation. Okay, right here that says create a Laravel application. So as you can see, in order for us to run or create a Laravel application on our local machine, it says here that before you create your first Laravel application, make sure that your local machine has PHP, Composer, and Laravel installer installed. And in addition, you should install either node and npm or bun so that you can compile your application's front-end assets. So basically, we're going to be needing PHP, Composer, and Node.js in order for us to run or create a Laravel application on our local machine. And this is what this video is all about. We're going to be setting up our environment by simply installing PHP, Composer, and Node.js onto our local machine. So first of all, we're going to go ahead and start by installing PHP on our local machine. So to install PHP, all you need to do is come over here to apacheFriends.org, or simply go to Google and type in XAMPP download. Something like this. Okay, I think I have a suggestion right here. XAMPP download. Go and make a search and click on the first link right here, and you're going to be taken to this XAMPP download official page, which is right here that I have already. Alright, so by installing XAMPP, you're going to be installing PHP on your local machine. As you can see, XAMPP come along with the latest PHP version, which is version 8.2.12. So you're going to want to go ahead and click on this download button, and your download will begin automatically. And after the download, after you download XAMPP, you're going to want to go ahead and install it on your local machine. So as for me, I don't need to download XAMPP again because I have XAMPP already installed on my local machine. Right here, as you can see, I already have downloaded XAMPP and it's installed already on my local machine. As you can see, your download will begin automatically. As for you, you're going to want to go ahead and click on the Start Download button right here to start downloading XAMPP onto your local machine. And after the download, you're going to find it inside your programs, inside your download programs folder, which is right here. You're going to want to go ahead and double click it, and then go ahead and continue with the rest of the installation process. So as for me, I don't need to go through the installation process again because I already have XAMPP downloaded and installed on my local machine, which is right here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel this installation process. Alright, as you can see, I have XAMPP control panel installed, and having XAMPP installed on your local machine simply means that you have PHP installed on your local machine. So that's basically how you go about installing PHP on your local machine. So the next program that we're going to install on our local machine is Composer. So we're going to come over here to getcomposer.org/download to get an installed Composer onto our local machine. So if you are on this page, you're going to want to go ahead and click on this composer setup.exe. So you're going to go ahead and click on that, and your download will begin automatically as well. As you can see, now I can go ahead and simply click on the Start Download button to start downloading Composer, and I already have downloaded and installed Composer on my local machine, which is right here. As you can see, this is composer.exe. So all you need to do after download, you're going to go ahead and install it on your local machine. Alright, so the next program you're going to want to download for your environment setup is Node.js right here. Node.js, as you can see, you need to install Node. Okay, so if you come over here to nodejs.org/en/download, or you can simply go to Google and type Node, something like this, Node.js download. And when you click on the first link, you're going to be taken to the exact same page that I am, which is right here. So when you are on this page, all you need to do is go ahead and click on this pre-build installer, and then you're gonna see the download button right here. And when you click the download button, your download will also begin automatically. And after the download, you're gonna find your Node.js downloaded on your local machine, and all you need to do after the download is go ahead and double click it to install Node.js on your local machine. As for me, I don't need to do that again because I already have Node.js installed on my local machine. Alright, I want to escape this. Alright, so that's it for the Node.js installation. And the last but not least is the Visual Studio Code, which is actually a text editor that you're going to be using to write your code into. So you're going to want to come over here to the Visual Studio download official page, which is code.visualstudio.com/download, or you can simply come over to Google and type in VS Code download, something like this, and you're going to want to go ahead and click the first link, and you're going to be taken straight to this same page that I am. And all you need to do when you are on this page is to go ahead and click on the download button for Windows, and we have a download button for Mac right here, so you can download for any OS of your choice. So if you go ahead and click on the download button, your download will also begin automatically. And after the download, you're gonna find your program right here. As you can see, this is my VS Code setup. I can simply go ahead and now double click it to start the installation process. And after it's done, we're gonna have Visual Studio installed on our local machine. Alright, so friend, those are basically the programs that you need to install beforehand in order for you to seamlessly create and run your Laravel application on your local machine. Alright, so now let's go back to the XAMPP over here. After the installation of XAMPP, you're going to go ahead and open XAMPP control panel by simply coming over here and click on the XAMPP control panel, or you can simply search for XAMPP. Let's go ahead and say XAMPP, something like this. So you're going to see XAMPP control panel, so you're going to go ahead and click on that, and a XAMPP control panel will open. And you need to make sure that both Apache and MySQL are both started. So by default, they will be stopped like this. They'll be asking you to start. So all you need to do is go ahead and click on the start button like so. And as you can see, it's going to say stop. That means it's running. And then after the installation of XAMPP, you're going to have a XAMPP directory inside your local disk, which is right here. Let me actually go ahead and take us to a local disk. As you can see, we're going to have this folder called XAMPP. And if you go ahead and expand the folder, we open the XAMPP folder. Within the XAMPP folder, we have a folder called htdocs. So this is basically our root folder. This is where we create and store our Laravel applications. So as for me, as you can see, I've created a folder called workshop right here. So this is where we're going to be creating and storing our Laravel application. And also with both Apache and MySQL started, we can simply go ahead and now open our phpMyAdmin to start creating and managing our databases. Let me actually go ahead and show you that. We can come over here, but we need to make sure that both Apache and MySQL are started. Okay, like so. So now we can simply come over here and say localhost /phpMyAdmin. Something like this, and hit enter. And as you can see, we are now in our localhost, meaning our phpMyAdmin, where we create and manage our local databases. And here, as you can see, we have our database server information, we have our web server information, and right here we have phpMyAdmin information. So as you can see, if you take a look over here, you can see the PHP version that we have installed on our local machine just by installing XAMPP server, which is version 8.2.12. And for the remaining programs that we have installed on our local machine, which is the Composer and Node.js, we can simply go ahead and confirm the installation to make sure that we of course do have them installed on our local machine by simply coming over here to our search bar and typing in command cmd like so, hit enter. And now we're going to go ahead and say composer-v for version, and we hit enter. As you can see right here, we have Composer version 2.7.7 installed on our local machine, and we can as well check the Node.js installation by simply coming over here and say node version, hit enter. Alright, as you can see right here, we have Node version 20.11.1 installed on our local machine. So friend, that's all we need to do to set up our environment in order to seamlessly run a Laravel application on our local machine. As you can see, we have PHP installed by simply installing XAMPP onto our local machine. We have Composer and Node.js installed. Now we are ready to start creating our Laravel application. And we're going to do that in our next video. So I hope everything is clear to you in this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Alright, now that we have PHP, Composer, and Node.js installed on our local machine, we can go ahead and proceed with creating our Laravel application. So you're going to want to scroll down a little bit like so, and you're going to see this command that says composer global require Laravel /installer. So you're going to go ahead and copy that command, and we're going to go ahead and now navigate to our root folder. Remember, in our previous video, we've discussed about the root folder, which comes along with the installation of XAMPP server on our local machine, which is right here. If you navigate to your local disk, right here, local disk, inside local disk, you're going to see a folder XAMPP, and this folder will only be available after the installation of XAMPP control panel on your local machine. So we're going to go ahead and open the folder, and within the folder, you're going to find another folder called htdocs. So this is our root folder. This is where we're going to be creating and storing our Laravel application. So we're going to go ahead and open the folder as well, the htdocs. And as you can see, I have created a bunch of folders inside my root folder. So as for you, you're going to see some few folders when you are installing XAMPP server for the first time. So you can go ahead and get rid of all the folders that you find there by default and start creating your own folders and subfolders. As for me, you can see I have a couple of folders inside my root folder, which is the htdocs right here. So I'm going to go ahead and now create our project inside this folder, this subfolder called workshop. So I'm going to go ahead and expand the folder as well. As you can see right here, this folder is empty. So all I need to do now to create and store my Laravel application within this subfolder called workshop is to come over here, click on this file path field and type in cmd like so, and then hit enter. As you can see, a terminal or a command prompt will open inside the folder. As you can see, take a look at the path right here, C drive. Inside C drive, we have a folder called XAMPP, and inside the folder XAMPP, we have htdocs and we have workshop. So now whatever command we type in inside here will be executed inside the subfolder called workshop within our htdocs, which is our root folder. So remember, we've already copied this command right here, composer global require Laravel /install. So I'm going to go ahead and copy it once again and go back to our terminal inside of our root folder right here. Open our terminal window and then paste it by pressing Ctrl V like so. And then we're going to go ahead and hit enter. This will actually go ahead and install the Laravel installer on our local machine. And after the installation of Laravel installer, we're going to go ahead and now start creating our project. So as for me right here, as you can see, I already have Laravel installer installed. That's why it's saying nothing to modify in log files, nothing to install, update, or remove. So this simply means I have Laravel global installer already on my local machine. But for you, it's going to go ahead and if you don't have Laravel Global Installer installed, it's going to go ahead and install that. And then after successfully installing Laravel Installer on your local machine, all you need to do is you're going to come back to this Laravel official documentation site and then go ahead and copy the next command, which is Laravel new, and then followed by your Laravel application name. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this command. After copying the command, I'm going to go back to our terminal like so, and I'm going to paste it. So here it says Laravel new example-app. So this example-app refers to our application name. So for our application, I'm going to go ahead and call our application, let me go ahead and give it a name called Laravel Multi-Guard Authentication System. So this should be our Laravel application name. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter to create our application inside our root folder called workshop right here. So here Laravel installer is simply asking me whether I want to install a starter kit, meaning one of the default Laravel authentication system, which are Breeze and Jetstream. So we're not going to be needing any default starter kit, any default Laravel authentication system, because in this course we're going to learn about the Laravel authentication system from scratch. So we do not need any package. So you should be able to develop a complete Laravel authentication system all by yourself without any package. So I'm not saying you should not use package, but knowing how to do it from scratch will help you even understand the packages better, so that whenever the need arises for you to use the package, it will be much more easier for you because you already understand the bigger picture. So we're going to go ahead and say none, like so, and then hit enter. We're not going to be needing any starter kit. And which testing framework do you prefer? So we have two types of testing framework. We have PEST and PHP Unit. So for me, I always go with PHP Unit. So I'm going to go ahead and say 1 and hit enter. Alright, so now as you can see, the Laravel installer has started creating our Laravel project inside our subfolder. And we're going to wait until everything is done. Well, I think I'm going to skip the video to when it's finished or requires our action to save time. Alright, now our Laravel application is created successfully. Now it is asking us to choose which database we're going to be using for this our application. So as you can see, we have SQLite, we have MySQL, we have MariaDB, Postgres, and SQL Server. So I'm going to go ahead and choose MySQL because we're going to be using MySQL for this project. So let me go ahead and type in MySQL. Something like this. So we select MySQL. So let's go ahead and hit enter. So now we've successfully set MySQL to be our default database, and Laravel installer is now asking us if we would like to run the default database migration, and I'll go with that. So let's go ahead and say yes and hit enter. And now our data tables migrations will be run into our database. Alright, now everything is done successfully. As you can see, it says application ready in LMGAS, meaning Laravel Multi-Guard Authentication System. Our project name, the name we give to our project, which is Laravel Multi-Guard Authentication System. So it says here you can start your local development using CD Laravel Multi-Guard Authentication System. Alright, so if you go back to our root folder right here, as you can see, we have a folder called Laravel Multi-Guard Authentication System. And if you expand the folder like so, you're going to see our Laravel framework successfully downloaded onto our local machine. Alright, so let's go back a bit like so. And now I'm going to go ahead and open our project inside of our Visual Studio Code right here. So you can go ahead and locate and open your Visual Studio Code. As for me, I have it on the start menu right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Visual Studio like so. Alright. And now as you can see, I have my Visual Studio open. Now I'm going to go ahead and open the project inside Visual Studio. Something like this. Let me actually minimize this, takes it to the side, and click and drag it right here. Alright, as you can see, our Laravel application is now open inside Visual Studio, Laravel Multi-Guard Authentication System. Alright, so now let's go ahead and run our Laravel application since everything is installed successfully. So let's expand Visual Studio Code like so. Alright, now you can simply come over here to View and go to Terminal, open the Terminal window, and we're going to go ahead and type in the following command: php artisan serve. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and hit enter. And now our Laravel application is started. The server is running on this URL. So you can simply copy this URL or simply hold down Control and then click the URL, and Laravel application will be open in your default browser. So now if I head over to my Chrome, right here, as you can see, I have my Laravel application successfully running on my browser right here. So right here, as you can see, we have Laravel version 11.36.1 and PHP version 8.2.12. Perfect. So this is basically how we go about the Laravel installation. Let me actually go ahead and get rid of these tabs because we no longer need them. Alright, new. Okay, perfect. Even this one, let's go ahead and get rid of that. So friend, this is basically how we go about Laravel installation on our local machine. And that will be it for this video. I hope everything is clear to you. And in our next video, we're going to be setting up the database for our Multi-Guard Authentication System. So I hope everything is clear to you in this video, and I will see you in the next one. Welcome back to the lesson. In our previous video, we've successfully installed Laravel on our local machine, and in this video, we're going to be creating and setting up our Multi-Guard Authentication System databases. So let's actually go back to our Laravel application source code right here. Let me actually go ahead and close this terminal. If you come over here to our database folder, and then within our database directory right here, you're going to see we have a migration directory. And inside the migration directory, we have users table right here, users migration. So since we're using Multi-Guard for this project, we're gonna go ahead and have separate table for both the users and the admin. For single guard, you simply use single table for both the admins and the users of your application. Meaning this single users table you're seeing right here will contain both the information about your admin and the users of your application. Let me actually go ahead and take you to our PHP MyAdmin to get a better look. Let me close that Laravel official download page, and I'm going to go ahead and say localhost PHP MyAdmin. Alright, right here, as you can see, you're going to see a database called LMGAS, meaning Laravel Multi-Guard Authentication System. It's basically right here. Let me actually take us back inside the .environment variable.env file. If you come over here to database, as you can see, when installing Laravel, we said we wanted to use MySQL database, and as you can see, our database name right here is Laravel Multi-Guard Authentication System, and our database is created right here inside of our PHP MyAdmin, which is LMGAS. So if you go ahead and click our database right here, you're going to see we have a couple of tables. These tables are all published because we agreed to run the default migration when installing Laravel in the installation video, if you remember correctly. So within our default tables right here, you're going to see we have the users table. So for single guard authentication system, this single table will contain all the information regarding the admin and the users of our applications. But for this course, we are not using single guard but multi-guard. So we're going to go ahead and create multiple tables as well. We're going to be having tables for users only, just like this one, and we're going to have our admins table separately, a table that will store information only for admins. So this is basically the idea of multi-guard authentication system in Laravel. So now let's go back to our application source code, and inside of our users table right here, and since we are creating everything from scratch, let me actually go ahead and remove this colon, and we're going to have name, email, password, and we're not going to be needing this colon as well. Remember token. But rather we're going to be having a token colon. So let's go ahead and say table string, and we're going to call it token. and our token can be null, so let's say nullable. And we're going to go ahead and add one more colon called status table string called status. Let's go ahead and set a default value for our status. Say default to 0, and I'm going to go ahead and add a comment. Alright, let me say 0 is equals to pending and 1 is equals to active, something like this. So these are basically the information that we're going to be collecting from the user of our multi-guard authentication system. So for user to be able to register inside our multi-guard authentication system, he needs to provide his name, email, password, and we're going to be generating a token for the email verification and the password reset request, and also status to confirm whether the user verified his email or not. Alright, and now the next thing is to go ahead and modify our user's model. So right here, if you come over here to app models, you're going to see we have users model. And right here, as you can see, the only column that will be fillable inside of our users table are the name, email, password colons. So we're going to go ahead and update this. We're going to add the token and the status. Those columns should also be fillable. Otherwise, they will not be filled when we pass information to them. So I'm going to go ahead and add the token and status. So let's go ahead and copy the token. Let's come down here and add token and then the status. Alright, the status column. And now we're going to go ahead and save our file. Alright, we're going to go ahead and save this one as well. Alright, so now that we are done with the users table, we're going to go ahead and create the admins table, the admins migrations, a separate table that is going to store our admins information. So let me actually go ahead and open our terminal like so. Alright, let me clear the terminal, CLS. So you need to make sure that you are inside your Laravel applications directory, like right here. So as you can see right here, we are inside the workshop. So we're going to go ahead and navigate to our Laravel applications. So we do that by simply saying cd call our application name, Laravel Multi-Guard Authentication System, something like this, and hit enter. As you can see, now we have navigated inside of our Laravel application folder, which is lmgas. So now we can simply go ahead and start running Laravel commands in our Laravel project. So I'm going to go ahead and now create our admins model and migration. So you can simply do that by typing the following command: php artisan make model, and our model name should be admin and our migration -m. So this command will create both our admin model and migration at the same time. So if you come over here, right here, as you can see, inside models we have only the users model, and right here inside our migration we have only users, cache, and job migration. So when we go ahead and run this command, this single line command is going to create our admins model and also our admins migration. So let's go ahead and hit enter. Alright, as you can see, now it says that our model is created successfully. Inside the models we have admin.php, which is our admins model, and our migration is also created successfully. Now inside our database, inside migrations, we have our admins migration right here. So let's go ahead and take a look. Now if you come over here, you're going to see that we have our admins migration right here. Okay, and then right here we have our admins model, which is right here. Alright, so let's go ahead and start working on the migration, our admins migration first. Okay, right here we're going to go ahead and copy some of the columns right here. So our admins, for our admin we're going to need the name, email, and password, and also token as well. So let's go ahead and copy that. Let's come over here to our admins migration. Right in between the ID and timestamps, paste this. And for the admin, we're going to be needing the username instead. So let's say username, and email should be unique as well. Okay, password and token. So this is all we need to collect for our admin as well: username, email, and password. And right here for the username, I want it to be unique as well. Alright, let's say unique. Alright, something like that. So the username should be unique. That means no two admins should have the same username. Alright, so let's go ahead and save our admin's migration as well. Save. Now lastly, we're going to go ahead and work on our admin's model. So admin model right here. So for our admin's model, instead of extending model, it's going to extend our authentication right here. So just like our users model right here. So we're going to go ahead and copy all of these namespaces right here. Copy all, everything. And we're going to go ahead and paste it right here. Alright, and instead of extending the model, we're going to extend the authenticable. So copy that and paste this right here. And then we're going to go ahead and use the notifiable and the hash factory inside of our admin's model right here, just like the way we have it right here inside of our users model. So let's go ahead and copy this, come right here to our admin's model and paste this. So now we're going to go ahead and save our admin's model as well. So let's go ahead and say save. Alright, so friend, that's all we need to do. Now after setting up our admin's migration and also our users migration, now we can simply go ahead and run our migration. And by running our migration, I simply means create these tables inside of our database right here. Okay, let me actually come up here to our database. So we're going to refresh our database by running our migrations once again, so that we can have our admin's table created inside of our database as well. So let's come over here and now say PHP artisan migrate : refresh. So now we're going to go ahead and hit enter. So this is basically going to refresh our migration. Is like we are re-migrating our database tables. Alright, as you can see, now we have rolled back our migrations. Before we only have the job, cache, and users, and now we run the migration again, and now we have the users, cache, job, and our admin's table is now successfully migrated into our database. So now if I come over here and refresh our database, alright, as you can see, now we have the admin's migration successfully migrated onto our database. As you can see, for admin, we have now the admin's username, email, password, token, and created ad, updated ad, just like we have it right here. For admin, we have username, email, and password, and then token. And for user, we have name, email, password, token, and status. So let's go ahead and take a look for the user as well. Let's come over here, click on the user. As you can see, we have name, email, password, token, and status. So friend, this is basically how we go about setting up our database for our multi-guard authentication system. And in our next video, we're going to be discussing about how we seed our admin's data inside of our database, because in every authentication system, admin doesn't have a registration page to register himself into the system, but by default, his data will be inside the system. So we're going to be learning how we create database seeder in Laravel and then seed our admin's information inside of our database without any registration page. So I hope everything discussed in this video is very much clear to you and that you enjoyed the lesson, and I'll see you in the next one. Welcome back to the lesson. In this video, we're going to be seeding our admin's information inside of our database. So as I've mentioned in the previous video, the admin is not going to have a registration page to register himself into the system. So we're going to find a way to seed the admin's information, meaning to insert the admin's information inside the admin's table. And we're going to be achieving that with the help of database seeder in Laravel. So let's go ahead and now navigate back to our Laravel project source code. So inside the database directory right here, you're going to see we have a database seeder right here. So we're going to go ahead and create a new admin's database seeder. So we're going to go ahead and do that inside of our command prompt right here. So let me actually come over here and say PHP artisan make seeder space, and we're going to call our seeder admin data seeder. something like this, and then we're going to go ahead and hit enter to create our admin seeder. Now as you can see, our admin's data seeder is created successfully inside the seeders directory. And right here, if you come over here, you're going to see now we have the admin seeder. So we're going to go ahead and open our admin seeder right here, and within our run method right here, we're going to go ahead and now call our admin's model, which is this model right here, admin. So we're going to go ahead and say admin, okay, colon, we're going to say insert semicolon right here, and we're going to expand this. So as you can see, now we have a squiggly line here. This indicates that our admin's model is not imported right here. So to import our admin's model, we can simply come over here to the namespace section and then say use app models admin model. So you can see right here admin and semicolon like so. So as you can see now, the squiggly line is gone. So that means we are good to go. Now our admin's model is successfully imported. Or we can simply import our classes automatically with the help of this extension, PHP name resolver. As you can see, PHP name resolver right here. So you can simply come over here to your extension panel and type in PHP name resolver. Namespace resolver, which is right here. Click on the extension and go ahead and install the extension. So this is a very helpful extension in Laravel. It's going to facilitate your Laravel development journey. So I urge you to install the PHP namespace resolver extension on your VS Code, and I promise you that will really make your Laravel development much more easier. So go ahead and install PHP namespace resolver. And let me actually go ahead and show you what PHP namespace resolver does. So assuming I do not know the path for this class model. So as you can see, we're going to have the squiggly line, meaning our admin model is not imported yet. So with the PHP namespace resolver extension installed on your Visual Studio Code, all you need to do is right click on the class and say import class. And as you can see now, everything is imported automatically. As you can see, the same path, app models admin model. And as you can see right here, we no longer have that squiggly line indicating that our class is not yet imported. So it's very good. Go ahead and install PHP namespace resolver and your work will be much more easier. So now within our insert method, we're going to go ahead and now start inserting the data. So for this column right here, let me actually take us to the admins table right here. So as you can see, for the admins table, we are expecting to pass our username, email, password. Okay, so let's go back here. So for the username colon, let me actually go ahead and copy everything. Let's say structure. Oh, so let me actually copy this colon, username, copy, come over here, paste it. And our username will be, let's say, admin, comma, and then the next colon is email. Let's go ahead and copy this. Let's get back to our database seeder. Email should be, let's say, admin@gmail.com. And then comma, and then the third data that we're going to be passing is our password right here. So let's go ahead and copy this and let's say password. Okay, our password should be, we're going to go ahead and hash our password, meaning we're going to encrypt our password. We're not just going to pass the raw password, so we're going to do something to it. So we're going to hash it before inserting it inside the database. So we're going to say hash make, and we're going to say our password should be 1234, something like this. So as you can see now, our hash method is not included. So with the namespace, with the PHP namespace resolver, we can simply go ahead and right click on the class and say import class. As you can see, now we have our class imported successfully. Okay, I think there's an issue here. I need to add this arrow. So let's actually go ahead and save the file. As you can see, we no longer have that squiggly line. Everything is good. Now our last column is going to be the token. So let's go ahead and copy this. Let's come over here and say comma, and we're gonna pass our token, and we're gonna set our token to be empty, something like this. So these are all the columns inside of our admins table that we need to pass data to. So let's come over here. As you can see, this is username, email, password, token. Okay. Alright, so these are the columns. So now let's get back to our source code, and we're going to go ahead and save our admins data seeder. And then after that, we're going to come over right inside of our database seeder right here, and we're going to call our admins data seeder. So let me actually go ahead and comment this default factory data, and then right here, we're going to go ahead and call our admins data seeder. So let's go ahead and say this call, and we're going to say admin data seeder class, okay, semicolon. So now that we called our admins data seeder right here, we're going to go ahead and save it. And now we can simply go ahead and seed our admins data inside of our database by typing the following command inside the CMD. Let's go ahead and say php artisan db seed and hit enter. Alright, as you can see, it says seeding database, and as you can see, we are seeding our admin data seeder, is running and it's done. So now if we go back to our admins table right here and refresh our table, yes, as you can see, now we have our admins information successfully seeded, successfully inserted inside of our admins database table. And as you can see right here, our password is hashed, is encrypted, because we use the hash method right here. Here we said hash make 1234, which is our admin's password, hashed. And as you can see right here, our password is hashed. So friend, this is basically the only way that we're going to be passing our admin's information inside of our application, because our admin is not going to have a registration page, just like the user is going to have a registration page that he's going to register and then go ahead and log in into the system. But the admin can only log in into the system, but he will not have a registration page to register himself because he is an admin. So his data should be there. So this is basically how we go about seeding our admin's data inside of our database. So in our next video, we're going to be working on our multi-guard setup. So we're going to be setting up our user's guard and also the admin's guard, because when it comes to logging into the system, we're going to be using this guard to recognize who is logging into the system. So the guard is basically what is going to be telling us whether it is admin that is logging in or a user that is logging into the system. So we're going to be setting that up in our next video. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.